Special counsel Jack Smith just got the worst news imaginable as his case against Donald Trump is not going well. So Judge Aileen Cannon has now indefinitely postponed Donald Trump's classified documents trial, with Jack Smith just pissed. So there goes the plan to disrupt the 2024 presidential election, although they still have Fani Willis, Letitia James, and of course Alvin Bragg left to pick up the pieces here. So there's a lot to unravel here, but I just want to kind of remind you guys of something. Jack Smith, he wanted the pace to be picked up regarding this case. He even gave the judge a date because he believed that it was plausible to expedite the process. However, Judge Aileen Cannon, she wasn't having none of it. And this is just one of the newest victories for the former president. It's like the plan to get him in deep legal trouble before November, it's not panning out, which is not good news for these prosecutors as we continue to see new evidence come out regarding the 2020 presidential election. Evidence that may sway a majority of the American people to believe that Donald Trump, hey, maybe he was right all along, that there may have been something going on behind the scenes that they don't want us to know about.
And we have some breaking news now in Donald Trump's federal classified documents case. The judge in Florida has indefinitely postponed this trial. Let's get straight to CNN's Caitlin Polans. Caitlin, what is driving this incredibly consequential decision by Judge Cannon?
Well, Judge Aileen Cannon in Florida says that this classified documents case against Donald Trump, it's too complicated and there's too much to do right now that she has to work through. And so she's taken the trial date off of the calendar, instead laid out a plan through essentially the end of July to handle other issues in this case, largely around the use of classified documents. Remember, this is a case charging Donald Trump with the mishandling of nearly 36 national security records. And because it's about national security, Jake, there's quite a lot of classified material that is part of the case and that the defense team is going to try and argue to use in their case to present to a jury or somehow in the trial. That is a big, hefty thing that this court has to work through. And so that is what is going to be taking place during the summer before Judge Aileen Cannon. She now has a hearing on the calendar for May, one for June, and then another for July, but no trial date. And she says once she gets through all of the other stuff she has to do in this case, that's when she will be announcing when the trial will take place. The bottom line here, Jake, is exceedingly unlikely, almost to the point where it may be an impossibility for Donald Trump to go to trial in this Florida classified documents case before the November election.
Because unlike Fani Willis, Jack Smith, Letitia James, and Alvin Bragg, Judge Cannon has more on her mind than Donald Trump. Now, Smith, he wanted the judge to reschedule the trial to begin on July 8th, something that's obviously not going to happen now. So Smith and Cannon, they have not been seeing eye to eye for the majority of these pretrial proceedings. Cannon, on her end, says that finalizing a trial date before the resolution on multiple pretrial issues would be, quote, imprudent and inconsistent with the court's duty to fully and fairly consider the various pending pretrial motions. Now, this is yet another wrench in Smith's gears, as he's also facing scrutiny from the House Judiciary Committee. Now, the irony of all of this is that Smith is being investigated for manipulating evidence that was seized by the FBI in Donald Trump's classified records case. This is because his team was compelled to admit that the order of items within the boxes are not the same as in the associated scans, even though prosecutors told the court that the documents were in their original intact form as seized. Now, some say that this fact alone should warrant a mistrial, although that seems unlikely. Do any of you guys feel as if this is tampering of evidence, with Smith's team being grounds to have this case dismissed? Let me know in the comments. By the way, guys, if you guys are enjoying the content, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. And I also want to thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. You guys are absolutely amazing. Now, it's not all good news for Donald Trump, although this is one that he might be welcome to because he's trying to get a point across here. So Judge Juan Merchan, the judge for his hush money trial, has warned Donald Trump that jail time is right around the corner. And while many Democrats are against the notion, given how this could further boost Donald Trump's campaign, some of them actually want it done. In fact, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is so excited that he's already already making preparations. He said that Rikers Island Jail and its Department of Corrections are ready to receive the former president. Can you believe that? Eric Adams told reporters that the officers at Rikers Island are professionals and would do a good job if Donald Trump is ever actually sent there. Trump, though, has repeatedly gone against Judge Juan Merchan's gag order in what seems to be him fighting for our First Amendment right. Many experts are now asking what these public officials are capable of doing to everyday, normal Americans if they can do this to former President Donald Trump. Which brings me to Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump's hush money trial. She wasn't very discreet about anything that may have happened between her and the former president. It even came to a point where even the judge had to interrupt her testimony. This is because Merchan admonished the prosecution for the specifics that Ms. Daniels was providing, which has many analysts saying that she was only called up to embarrass the former president. She also did not help her own credibility, as she seems to have been cracking jokes in court. Now, I'm not really sure what the prosecution has told her about the case, but this is a very big deal. Trump's legal team even asked for a mistrial because they felt as if her testimony was unduly and inappropriately prejudicial. Judge Juan Merchan said that a mistrial wasn't warranted, but admitted that there were some things that could have been left unsaid.
Eagerly anticipated witness Stormy Daniels gets her day in court and shares explicit details that even the judge thinks go too far. The adult film star was animated on the stand and even playfully cracking jokes as she vividly described a 2006 meeting with Donald Trump at a celebrity golf tournament. She testified that Trump greeted her with silk pajamas and that he posed in bed before they had sex. An encounter he denies ever took place. But things got heated in court as the defense objected several times and then asked for a mistrial, arguing her salacious testimony was unduly and inappropriately prejudicial. The judge said a mistrial wasn't warranted, though some things were better left unsaid. But does her testimony do anything to prove the case against Trump? Stormy Daniels testified that she understood that Michael Cohen was representing Donald Trump when she agreed to stay silent in exchange for $130,000. She had no knowledge of whether business records were allegedly falsified to cover up the payment, but prosecutors hope her testimony shows why Trump was so keen to avoid a sex scandal in the days before the 2016 election.
So Trump can't defend himself when he's attacked on social media, as well as news outlets and critics, but Stormy Daniels can be called to the stand and make sex jokes. She even described Trump's private body part. Do you think that it's a fair representation of how things should be done in our country? Because it sure does look like Judge Juan Merchan let her go to town with her testimony, even though he's acting as if he's limiting her. And here's one question that the defense has for Daniels that paints the entire picture. When asked if she had hatred for the former president, Daniels simply answered yes. It's also believed that the former porn star was simply trying to extort money from Trump back when he first ran for president. His lawyers argue that the former president was merely doing this to protect his reputation and his family, not his campaign. And with Daniels' testimony, there are legal experts that believe that this is the reason why he wanted her to be quiet. But what do you guys think? Does this case have any merit given everything that's happened already? And what about Jack Smith's trial being postponed? Any thoughts on that? As always, I'm going to be here to keep you guys informed of what's happening with all these many cases. That way you can formulate your own opinions on all of them. Before I go, I just want to thank you guys for your time. Keep safe. Thank you for liking these videos and subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.